Hello, my orphans, and welcome back to my account. As you could tell in the last video, I'm not allowed to curse in my household. But what's the right of doing a story if you can't do it to your full extent? So I will be saying the curse words because, yeah. And my mom is downstairs, so that's that, and my door is closed. And I'm in my room this time, so I actually can record. Anyways, I am gonna add some things at the end of this video because I did realize I am missing certain things, which I will be apologizing for, because after all, I'm still new to this whole Podfic thing. So just bear with me while I get my head screwed on straight. Anyways, are we ready to get into the video? If we are, then that is amazing. Chapter 4, Winged Spiders by Nekton. Peter was crying in his sleep again. Dick had set the baby down for a nap in the crib Bruce had brought for him. The apartment had been baby-proofed by everyone. Well, Bruce, Tim, and Damien were the main ones. Everyone else just played Peter. Dick rubbed Peter's belly in an attempt to soothe the crying infant. It was clear that Peter went through some terrible things before coming to this universe. At the end of the day, Peter was still a kid, needing someone. Suddenly, without warning, Peter grabbed Dick's hand with a grip equal to an adult man. It started to hurt a bit. Peter was holding on to his hand as if Dick was going to disappear. "It's all right, Peter. I'm not going anywhere," he whispered. The baby slowly let go of Dick's hand. Dick was busy eating cereal and thinking about the pros and cons of bringing Peter to his yoga instruction class. Yes, Dick had his day job, and yes, he worked as a yoga instructor at a child-free gym. "Peter, I can ask Miss Hillary next door to watch you, but knowing her, she'll forget you're even there if you keep quiet," Dick said. Peter looked up from his plate of scrambled eggs. It was obvious the baby wanted to go with Dick rather than being babysit by some old lady. Or I can call off, but then my students would be disappointed. Peter would have voiced his objections to being babysat in general, but being raised not to speak with food in your mouth prevented that. Dick seemed confident about this. Peter could tell Dick was the kind of person who tried too hard to make everyone around him happy. So that's where he gets it from. Oh, right, this guy isn't his father. "Screw it, I'm taking it with me," Dick said. "And release all the sounds that are trapped inside your mind," Dick said. The final action of the latest position. One guy took it literally and began screaming. Everyone looked at him with concern. Peter was busy sitting on the corner mat eating oranges. Dick's boss, or whatever, said Peter could stay only for today. He tried doing some of the positions with his baby flexibility to pass time, only to get laughed at by some of the people in the room. His baby was so pudgy, it was annoying. Dick had to change his diaper twice. It was super embarrassing for the both of them. Nearly everyone was a parent and gave Dick instructions on how to properly change a baby. They probably would have left it alone if Dick hadn't mentioned to recently take Peter in. "That's for class today," Dick said. He picked Peter up and headed out of the gym. And when did Peter fall asleep? Peter looked around and found himself in his crib back at the apartment. "You've been asleep for a while," Dick said from his bed. "Seconds after we left the gym. You were out cold." Peter replied, "Mush habitai. I was planning to stay the night, but someone decided to volunteer as your babysitter while I'm patrolling." A knock on the door gained their attention. Dick opened the door to reveal Damian Wayne. He had a backpack on. "Hey, Damian, thanks for volunteering to watch Peter while I'm gone," Dick said. Damian replied, Think nothing of it, Grayson. I am here to become the superior uncle to your son. Also, Oracle mentioned the paperwork being finalized." Dick said, "That's good. At least it must have been easier since Peter is so young and stop trying to make everything a competition." When you become an uncle, you'll understand, Grayson," Damian said, walking in and lifting Peter into his arms. "He is in good hands." "Good. Now be good for your Uncle Damian, Peter," Dick said, taking the Nightwing suit to the bedroom to change. Peter watched from the living room window as Nightwing took flight, or rather used the grappling hook to the sky. Peter got stuck watching old 1970s movies called The Wiz. The one with Danai Ross. It was the only thing besides the Disney Channel that still had Peter's interest. The puppet scene still creeps him out even after all these years. Oh, this is baby formula. Oh, this baby formula is good. He's gonna miss it when it be taken away in a couple months. He and Damien are on the couch just watching. Well, Peter's watching while Damien was busy giving complimentary about how he defeated every villain. A sudden sense of danger hit Peter like a truck. Oh, he still had his spider sense. Peter began to look around and heard something beating against the wind coming towards the glass of the sliding door and balcony. The balcony was right next to the living room, mind you. Peter knew Damien wouldn't hear until it was too late because they have different hearing perceptions. The furthest room was the bathroom. So Peter decided to do something, and that something was throwing up on himself. Peter forced himself to throw up the baby formula on his legs. Damien reacted immediately to that. "I suppose I should have expected this. I mean, I've seen videos of infants doing this," Damien said. He picked Peter up awkwardly, avoiding contact with the puke. They went to the bathroom. Peter was placed in the tub, and Damien washed his baby legs with a wet towel. A loud crash was heard, and the floor shook a little. "Stay here," Damien said, and ran out the restroom. Peter frowned and stuck his hand to the nearest wall to see if it stuck. It did. Why didn't his dumbass try to test if he still had his powers sooner? Deciding to stop scolding himself, Peter began to crawl on the wall. He crawled out of the bathroom to the hallway. The sounds of screaming and something moving into the living room had been very concerning. Peter reached the living room and saw a giant metal bar inside. Damien was somewhere else. The sound of fighting outside reached his ears. Peter hopped onto the metal bar and used it to get outside. Peter's jaw dropped, seeing a boy in a costume fighting some guy with a chain scythe. It was obviously Robin. The guy Robin was fighting looked to be in his I'm sorry, it's a bit late for me, so I'm a bit sleepy. Let me continue that. Peter's jaw dropped, seeing a boy in a costume fighting some guy with a chain scythe. It was obviously Robin. The guy Robin was fighting looked to be in his 20s and had robot arms. Robot arms that looked just like... Oh, you've got to be kidding me, Peter thought. I know the multiverse is a thing, but seriously? The guy with robot arms shouted, "You think you can stop me, boy? I've captured Nightwing." In one of the arms was a limp, clearly unconscious Nightwing. Peter almost cried out, but caught himself. It was not best to draw attention right now. You've all looked at me with pity ever since the use of my legs were taken from me. Now, look who's the pitiful ones now. Bloodhaven, I, Newtown Octavius, shall never be looked down on again. Yeah, but that's all. Thank you everybody that listens to my stories. If you like my stories, please do drop a like and subscribe. That would really help me out. And yeah. But anyways, like I fixed the little links. I fixed the link, so now you can click on it. I just checked and you can, so that is perfect. So if you would like to read it by yourself, you're freely to do so, or if you want to read it with me, you're also freely to do so. Like I said in the first video, the summary is down below, all the tags, and the approval link and the fic link is in my description. Please check that out. Give the original author a kudos. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So good night, my orphans, and I hope you guys have a great day or night. Also, I forgot one thing. Please, I will be reading. Please watch out for more stories that will be coming up on my channel soon, because I did get the approval notice from quite a few more, so which is pretty exciting. Just keep an eye out for that. Yeah. Anyways, have a great day or night, and kisses. Bye.